I wish y'all did that for the videos, man.
The fuck you talking about?
Yeah, I never do the pause for the videos. That shit has been going on for like an hour already. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh, that's right. Well, you never asked for it. Don't worry, I'd show you the same amount of courtesy as you showed me.
None.
Toma verga.
Here we go.
What's up, bench warmers? That's a great way to start our time back into the studio. We've had a fantastic holiday. We hope all of you have been enjoying this holiday festive period. Lots of football, lots of food, lots of wasted presents like Edgar's wearing right now. Who's bankrolling this, Edgar? Like, who's wasting their money on these sweaters? Like,
Well, I'll tell you something. All my followers on Instagram have all
Oh
of a sudden
my
brought me some profit, so I can afford these sweaters now.
oh my god, yeah.
All 20 of them?
Profited his ego. You mean?
all I know is Layla already said you cannot buy another one of those. If you do, you're outside.
Dang,
you're
you're gonna be
staying
outside?
outside.
He's gonna build a bed out of those sweaters. He's gonna makeshift bed. Well, bench warmers, we're glad to be finally back in the studio. Short little break. We took some time off as well. If you are watching the video, you'll see that Eric is not joining us. He is out in some warmer climates, but he'll be back shortly to see the new matches on New Year's Day. That being said, we're gonna start the episode like we always do, reminding you where you can listen to us. Marco.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher by searching Benchwarmers FC.
Nice. And you can also find us on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, by searching the handle Benchwarmers FC Un.
And you can watch our videos of Tech Ball and our podcast on YouTube at Benchwarmers FC TV.
And if you also want to write us a message, make sure that you email us to where?
To our email, which
Is?
is bench@benchwarmersfc.com.
This guy.
Holy shit. I almost forgot it.
This guy. Listen, Ricky, you gotta be on your toes, man, because
Sorry,
you've been
it's-
missing out.
It
You've
hasn't
been
been- he's
missing
been
out a
out for
lot.
like
It's
a
been a
month and a
while.
half.
I've been so busy replying to our emails that
Man.
Man.
That you forgot the email itself. Anyway, make sure you follow, like, comment, subscribe. Also, a quick shout out as written in our contracts to mention the Smug on Instagram. If you have nothing else to do, go ahead and give him a follow. Feed his ego, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, because apparently he's becoming a TikToker.
Yeah.
TikToker.
Without
The fuck
even
is
knowing,
TikTok?
without
Seriously,
even
someone
knowing what
answer me.
TikTok is.
Such a
TikToker
boomer.
for a shit talker.
Oh,
I like it.
that.
I might have to sign up to TikTok with that that handle. I like that.
Ricky, since you are in the hot seat, could you please do us the honors of hitting that kickoff whistle?
It's actually kind of cold, but I'll whistle anyway.
Nice. So kickoff, we're gonna actually backtrack a little bit. Quick little flashback segment for some of the things that we've missed and that we want to definitely comment about. We actually noticed the last time we spoke, that was around El Clásico.
Right before Clásico.
Right before it, and yes, it's only been the count was about 12 days, so a little less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, 12 days of Christmas.
But
12 days.
there was so much that happened. The thoughts on El Clásico really quickly. A 0-0 draw between both teams. It seemed to be a bit of a bore, but at least it was a bit even in terms of play. What do you guys think?
No, something very important happened that day. But I'll let you go first, Marco.
It was not
Oh
even
my
at all.
god.
Yeah.
Real Madrid dominated most of the game.
Okay. All right.
It was a bore. There was no score. And I rhyme like that. What's up?
Edgar, your one sentence.
Liverpool won. There you go.
Oh my.
Ah, my
We're not
goodness.
even talking about.
Yo.
I said something important happened
I
that
know.
day.
As soon as
Something
you said
important
that,
happened that
His defense
I
did
day.
already
say
knew
that.
you were gonna go there. As soon as you said that.
All right.
Well, that was the
well-
only thing worth mentioning. Why? Because that
Well-
was a trash game. Can we continue?
The
Okay.
Liverpool
Actually,
game was a trash game.
yeah, it was a trash game.
Did you see that competition, dude?
Yo, Monterrey had you guys.
They
Yo,
had
did
you
they
guys
win
on the
a
rope.
final over the weekend, anyways?
They did
Yesterday?
actually. They
They
did.
They did.
actually.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Before we go
Overtime,
bouncing,
overtime.
before we go
Anyways, keep
bouncing back
going.
and forth in time, the very next thing that happened was on Saturday, December 21st, the hopes and dreams of many football fanatics were dashed when the most annoying club in all of football history managed a narrow 1-0 win over the Brazilian greats Flamengo in
Barely
Qatar
won.
for the Club World Cup, and were thus crowned Club World Cup champions.
1 moment of silence, please.
All right. That being said,
How
Thank
you
you for that.
how you say a moment of silence and then laugh?
you can't even hold your
I
moment.
can't.
Silence.
I can't.
Well, we have some important transfers that happened during that time. So we had Minamino to Liverpool, 7 million. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it was a Minamino money exchange for a good player. So
Right,
good
Minamino.
deal.
Are you happy with the transfer, Edgar?
Dude, we got an Asian sensation for half the price of Shaqiri. I mean, that's awesome. I'm happy with that.
I actually, before I interrupt you,
I was gonna say anything.
okay, good. Before I
He was
don't
just playing with
interrupt
his
you,
mic, like he usually does.
before I don't interrupt you, I think for 7 million, that's a steal, man. That's a number that you rarely see, especially now in the days of inflated football. I guess transfer fees or prices, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
7.25 million is unheard of for a player of any caliber, especially like for first team football. I think that was a very good pickup. The next one, we'll leave the biggest one for last. The next one is Ibra confirming he's returning to AC Milan. Do you think it's enough to get AC Milan out of the hole, Marco?
No, but I like how he did the whole trolling because he said La Liga, I'll see you soon, and then it went to a completely different league.
Well, he
Which
probably
I
had to
thought it
do a
was
standby in
hilarious.
Barcelona or Madrid to get
Maybe
to
that's
Italy.
what it was. Yeah. He swung by, said "What's up," and then moved over to
Get a
Italy.
layover
Get a
in
layover.
Madrid.
Yeah, he's like, oh, everybody was like, oh yeah, he's going back to Barcelona, he's going to Real Madrid, Atletico, whatever. He's like, nope. Said yeah.
I heard that. I was banking. If I had put money on it, I would have bet Atletico. I really thought he was going to that
Yeah,
team.
and no,
I really
he
felt
went
like
back
it
to
would
Serie
suit
A.
him.
Now with the ego of Simeone, bro. Now with that ego.
You think so?
Absolutely. But honestly, because he's back in the Serie A, I want to watch Serie A now. I want to see AC Milan games. He's having the effect to me for Serie A that he had when he came to MLS.
The MLS.
Yeah. I started watching Galaxy games just to see what shit he would pull off.
And he did pull off some pretty incredible stuff. He really
Absolutely.
did.
He did.
Really quick, Ricky.
Yes.
A very simple and fast goal tally for Ibra for the second half of the season. How many do you think he's gonna put in the back of the net?
I'm gonna
He said
say. Oh yeah, he did. 14.
14 goals.
Yeah.
Very specific. I like that.
Over
agree?
10 with no problem.
Over 10, no problem. Double digits, no problem.
20.
20.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
As big as his ego is, bro? Come on.
You're pushing it.
I don't.
bro.
Yeah, that's
He'll
pushing
make
it before.
10 at max.
Speaking of pushing rumors, someone who really expertly trolled everyone, Erling Haaland on social media, a troll mastery, posting up all those images of those different jerseys that he was signing. So everyone was like losing their minds. He had like a United jersey, he had a Napoli jersey, he had a Juve
Who is his
jersey.
agent? Who is his agent?
Unfortunately, it's Mino Raiola.
Exactly. You know that was all orchestrated by Mino Raiola, man. The guy knows exactly what he's doing.
I
He knows
really
how to
wanna-
drive up the number
I wanna
on
know
all
more
kinds
about
of
this guy.
players.
I know a little bit about Mino, but I want to study more about what he does and how he does it because the level of control that he has on the market for players
It's
and,
insane.
and the fees that
Who
he
does he represent?
demands, almost everybody.
Pogba,
Okay. Alright,
Lukaku.
Yeah. You said a lot right
this
there.
guy, I know. Those are just three that I know off the
Yeah.
top of my head.
Yeah.
He's got
Yes.
many, many, many others.
No, but-
Zlatan. I think he's
I
Zlatan
think
as well.
he might be Zlatan.
He might be. I'm not 100% sure.
That's crazy.
But that's
Yeah.
like it's genius level of trolling. Plus, you know for a fact that he got more money just because of that.
Absolutely.
And,
he
at the end of the day, the kid went to a very, very good team.
a development
halfway.
club, and it's not it's not his last step. You
No.
go to Manchester United, you fail, your career is ruined.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
go to Borussia, you fail up. You do bad,
Almost,
like Pulisic did. He went to Chelsea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That, he can only fail up. They're going to say it's because Borussia doesn't have
Sancho
the
went
talent.
there. Everybody wants him now.
There you go.
So he's not overstretching. He's doing it right. He's playing it smart.
Of course, he needs
What's-
2 transfers to make double the money on the same kid. It's insane. He only got sold for 22 million. Yeah, he gets a little, fortune cookie now, but later he's going to get the full meal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You want some really
Yeah,
quick
smart.
names for Mino? Paul Pogba, Verratti, Insigne, Donnarumma, Romagnoli, Moise Kean, Marcus Thuram, Justin Kluivert, Mkhitaryan, Matuidi,
Jesus Christ.
Pellegrini. Let's see who else. Balotelli, Ibrahimovic, Sergio Romero. This guy is.
Mendes Ricardo.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Apparently, he's still paying off the Mendes Ricardo fees.
he has a lot. He has a lot of players in his books, and it just shows how controlling he can be. But that's very true. It's a very smart move going to Borussia Dortmund. Do you feel like Haaland is going to have an impact right away, Marco?
Yes. I think that's what they were missing. They were missing a striker. Yes, they have Alcacer, but we all know he's a super sub. This kid's coming in to a great team, and I can see him out in the next 2 years.
What do you think, Edgar?
I second that.
Ricky?
I third that.
You third that?
Yeah.
It looks like Haaland is the consensus here for being a superstar on Dortmund. With the ego that he has, the way he speaks of himself, it really sounds like he's going to be a success just because he has that self-belief. And in order to have that self-belief, that's exactly what you want in someone who's going to be your main forward, your star striker.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think so?
You need that confidence.
I think it's beyond confidence. This guy's almost it almost comes off as a bit of a. Did you see the clip of him in the Champions League when they lost? He asked for the water bottle. They threw it to him and he
Oh,
just
yeah,
asked for it so he could throw it back down on the floor.
Really? That was him?
Yeah, that was him.
That's funny.
That was pretty funny. Let's see what else.
Doing
Well,
it for the Insta, bro.
yeah, I guess so. That's it for. I know there were probably some other transfers and a lot of rumors, definitely. But as far as confirmed names, those are the ones that we wanted to highlight. Moving on to the next thing, part of our little flashback segment. We do have to talk about Liverpool, and credit where it's due. This is a team that has right now dominated, and I can see Edgar out of the corner of my eye getting comfortable and smuggy, and I can't stand it. But the truth is, and the fact is, they are now 15 points, almost going to be 15 points clear if they win on Wednesday. But over Christmas, they hit 13 points. I think the most they've ever been was 11. But before throwing out all kinds of numbers there, they are currently 13 points ahead in the league table.
With a game in hand.
With a game in hand, that's right, because you were participating in the Club World Cup in Qatar. They were crowned Club World Cup champions, so now they have that flashy little badge that they were
Crying about.
bitching and moaning about to have on their last match, to have on their kits.
Which they only are able to wear it once.
Yes, which only they were able to
within-
wear once.
Yeah, EPL.
In the EPL domestically, but they got special permission because who knows who got
Still family. Don't go.
Family show.
It's a family show.
family show. So we have to talk about it. We really do, because while we were during our festive period here in the Benchwarmer studio, Liverpool did do work and they took down some big teams, albeit with some help. But they did take down some big teams. I'm going to start actually with Ricky, looking at Liverpool and the work that they've done, starting with the Club World Cup. Do you think that this can really be the year that they get it done?
I'm hoping not.
As
But
the rest of the world is, but
no, but all right. Yeah, I do think that this is the year that they finally get it, and I hope that I don't get to see that day come. But
Marco, what do you think?
Look, man. Aside from Edgar's smugness, I can see it happening. Bro, if it's not this year or this season, there's no way in hell they can replicate what they've accomplished so far.
So you're saying it has to be
It
now?
has to be this year, man. Next year, I don't see it happening. I think every team right now is kind of like putting their eyes already on season 2021.
Mm-hmm.
This year is kind of like my eyes. It kind of feels like even Pep is like, I don't even think Pep is gonna be here next season, but that's a whole different conversation.
Sure.
So this season has to be it. Has to be this season because Klopp needs to tell the world that he can beat Pep.
All right, Edgar, over to you. Your 30-second rant on the performances of Liverpool over this festive period of matches. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Klopp is the king of the cop.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's
what it
enough.
comes down
That's
to.
enough. Moving on. No, for real. Let us know. What do you
Legit.
think?
His mastery of the game, the mastery of how he managed his team, the team he threw on for Everton, you saw was a B skill team.
Literally a
Right.
B skill. Yes,
Guess
it's a
what?
B side.
That literally gave space for the strikers, for key players to take rest. All of a sudden, he's throwing in good players,
Yeah.
throwing in under 23s for the Capital One Cup. I mean, fuck it, gone. We don't care about the competition.
Almost bit you in the ass.
Almost bit us in the ass. But the point is that we went to even against Monterrey, we weren't fielding a great team. We had to throw in Firmino and I think it was Mane or Salah at the end of the game.
All three of them. Yeah. You put all three of them on.
But the point is that they got their rest. So when the harder games started coming up, which we're still in technically, but we got through the hardest ones, these main players are coming into form and they're well rested. Their minds are settled. So, my point of view, it's Klopp who managed to use his team correctly. He used his bench players. He's throwing in Lallana again. I mean, come on. He's the one who put in the assist over the weekend. A player who shouldn't be playing because Chamberlain got hurt, a player who's technically should be leaving soon and is at the end of the season, all of a sudden is put in an assist. Where 3 years ago, our bench couldn't, support Bournemouth. And that's my point now. Klopp is the one taking us to that level, but I am not going to say that we're going to win it yet. You know why? Because I said I was going to say it at the end of the transfer window. Transfer window hasn't even opened. I'll tell you at the end of the transfer window. That's it.
Man.
So much for the
Smart.
cream of the crop.
Yeah, so much for that. Do you think that this is for you, Edgar? Do you think Liverpool are going to make any other acquisitions in terms of their personnel over this transfer
There's
window?
no word, man. There's no word. The only thing that I've
It's
heard
been
is,
it's been pretty dry. That's the reason why I'm asking.
but
I haven't
that's
heard
usually how they've
anything.
done business. I mean, this guy came out of nowhere. We signed him before the window even opened, technically.
Yes.
Yeah, and his first game is going to be against Everton, most likely in the FA Cup.
Mhm.
So, the way Liverpool's doing business is excellent. I'm very, very happy for it because it's the way I think transfers should be done and business should be done. And I hope they keep doing it. But until that window's over, I ain't going to say anything about Liverpool because honestly, there's nothing out there to talk about.
There really isn't. And I guess all eyes are on Liverpool right now to make sure that they can keep up this level of, I guess, quality performances. You have to say it that way. Because I'm like choking because I hate realizing that I'm talking well about this team. I do have to agree with the fact that the man management, it was actually smart. Because even though I was upset and hurt about how they handled the EFL Cup with throwing on their under 23s, it was the smart move. If you have to split your team, it was a smart move because you reserve your players for something that is much bigger than them, much bigger than the club.
I said on record, I wanted
wanted
to take the Capital One Cup. I wanted that cup. Why? Because we've won it 8 times. We could have gone on to win it 9. We couldn't gotten the quadruple. I think we're that good of a squad to do it. But it was more important for the club to put in the work for the FIFA Club World Cup. So I figured Klopp would divide his team. He said, no, I can't divide this team. I need to keep them together, and I need these players to get rest. So you know what? I'm gonna scrap the 1 cup, and it was the right way to go. It really was.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not coaching Liverpool.
So you saw Liverpool put in some good performances, and that's actually a good segue into some of the match days that we experienced over it was almost 3 matches over the course of 8 days, which is unheard of. All the other leagues, as many people are aware, are on break right now. They're on Christmas break, but EPL is graceful enough to work their players into the ground and have them playing over this Christmas period. So match day 18, that was right before we took this I guess this stop in recording. Two matches that we're highlighting. Everton and Arsenal had a 0-0 draw. This was the match that both Arteta and Ancelotti were being announced as permanent managers to take over. Any thoughts on that? 1 sentence thoughts on that match, if you did see it.
That one was a pretty boring game.
They had one look on their face.
It was like, fuck, what are you getting into?
Yeah, both of them.
It's like, fuck, what am I walking into?
Both of
On both
them.
sides, on both sides.
Yeah.
Yo,
on both
Ancelotti's
sides.
eyebrow, I have never seen it so high, bro. Like that thing was in the middle of his forehead.
Oh, damn.
Back of his head, man. Like, yo, the rock was coming out of him, bro.
We also had on that weekend we had Man City against Leicester City, the battle for second place. Leicester needed this win in order to keep up pressure on Liverpool. I think they were only maybe 6 points behind or 5 points behind, if I remember correctly, and then they lose 3-1. So it looked like a very dedicated Manchester City side. Any comments on that match, if you can remember something from this matchup? Especially because I think Vardy had spent. It was funny because the meme was, ever since that whole drama happened with his wife, he went like 8 or 9 consecutive weeks with scoring.
Yeah, this is the game where he broke, right?
And this is the game where
Didn't
he broke
score.
the duck. He had an assist, but he didn't
Yeah.
score. Did you guys see this happening though?
I
His-
did. I did.
I didn't see his wife thing happen.
That's because the Rooney's voice was still working on it and had just exposed it.
Oh my.
No, I saw Man City taking it to Leicester.
Oh yes, this was the last week that he scored because he, if you remember, that was that outside of the
Yeah.
foot, from Harvey Barnes. Jamie Vardy ran onto it and he had that little
That's
chip.
right. That's
over
right.
Ederson. And then after that, it was Mahrez, Gundogan, and Gabriel Jesus to seal the deal.
I
They
saw
were
it
just too
happening
much.
because if you can lock down Vardy for a few minutes, then you can get behind Leicester's defense. Even though they had the best defense, City were playing at home, right?
Correct.
They are very, very difficult at home. Their attacking power like multiplies by 2 or 3 just when they're at home. So it doesn't always work because we'll see in a couple games that it didn't. But this game was too big for them to be left behind in the dust. They could not be seen falling behind Leicester. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's what it is. And we saw it recently. Leicester at big games, they might not be all there mentally. Maybe that's what happens when maybe it might be a smaller team when they're going against the big guys, which is Liverpool and Man City. They kind of crumble.
They did actually, because that leads us into Boxing Day. The very next fixture for Leicester City was against Liverpool, and although that was very difficult to go from, technically the current champions to the proposed to the projected
Future
ones.
content, yeah.
They lost 4-0 to Liverpool in a routing at home, which was unheard of because you would think that at least at home they were definitely a defensive-minded team. They've been well organized in the back. This is the game I stand
Leicester-
corrected that Vardy did not score.
Leicester had no shots on goal.
and they had none. That's right.
They shot at goal, but they missed. None on target. And it was 1-0, 70 minutes into the game. The last 3 goals came into the last 20 minutes of the game.
Correct.
And it was after Mo Salah got subbed out. That was Origi who stepped in, and somehow the goals came in. And if you watch the game, you see that it was Origi who ran into the corner kick. All of a sudden, we have a penalty. It's 2-0, and then the game just changed. Like at that point is when like holy shit, I started getting the little butterflies in my stomach. Like
Maybe
this could actually be happening.
Maybe it was gas. I hope
Maybe
it
it's
was.
whatever.
Porque
whatever
nos
Ricky
cagamos
has.
en Leicester City. Nos cagamos en Leicester City.
Because you're full of shit.
But you're absolutely right. Looking at the stats right now, just to make sure that we're correct here, Liverpool went 3-0 with shots and total on target. So 3 shots, 0 on target, while Liverpool put up 15 and 6 on the board. So they were all over the place. Granted, they did score 4 goals, so they're gonna have the higher percentage. But you had James Milner taking that penalty.
First touch of the game.
And then after that, you had Trent Alexander-Arnold putting on a show with, what was it? 1, 2. It was
2
technically
assists and a goal.
It was technically 3 assists because the
Corner kick.
corner kick,
Yep.
but that's on fantasy. But you had 2 assists officially recorded, and then at the end, the 78th minute, taking on that pass from Mane, hitting it low and hard. That was actually very good technique to put the ball in the back of the net. This was the statement game because Liverpool had now gotten ground on both City, taking ground on Leicester, and then right in that head-to-head matchup, they won 4-0. So this is the moment I feel like it was actually becoming reality for them. The other match for that week, though, Wolves against Man City. City away are a completely different team, and you had Wolves pulling the league double over City for the first time. Adama Traore and Raul Jimenez.
For those who didn't hear,
I got that yellow for the Wolves.
Yeah.
Damn. Everybody around here gonna think they're drinking.
Yeah, for real.
I was about to after that game.
Ederson with a red card. City going 2-0 up. A lot of people thought this game was over, done and dusted. And I've never seen a better comeback than this, especially against the current champions. The only thing I have to say before handing off the mic is Adama Traore is a beast.
He's a fucking
He's an animal of a player. And when combining with people like Diogo Jota and Jimenez, he just becomes unplayable. Like you can't control this guy.
The way he manhandled that City defense,
Mendy.
man, it's ridiculous. And Mendy's a big dude, man.
He is.
But they're coming out with all this bullshit like, no, it was a foul. It was this. It was that.
It
Nah,
was
it was
Mendy
no
made
foul.
3 mistakes before he even let Traore get near him. Like, why the hell are you trying to shield the ball? And then if a smart defender feels a touch, goes to the ground.
Yeah.
It's a shit play. It's horrible. I hate when it happens.
But it's always going to be called a foul.
It's always
Every
every time
time.
a foul. But what does he do? He stutter steps because you know what? He didn't expect Adam Traore to push him so hard off the ball. If he was expecting contact, he would have gone down to the ground. But he wasn't expecting to go down. He was expecting to shield it, and he wasn't able to. It just meant like, oh shit, this guy really pushed me off. Oh crap. If
Yeah.
I go down now, it's gonna look fake. I can't do that. Oh crap, he scored. It's insane. Like the guy's strength is like of a linebacker. It's ridiculous.
He kind of reminds me of
He's
like
just a
Hulk.
beast.
Yeah.
And then
Did you
what's
see him without
that-
his jersey after the game? Like when he wanted to go out give out his jersey.
With the...
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't see it. The lens on the camera wasn't wide enough to get all the muscles.
Dude, I honestly like his arm is like the size of some average people's legs, like their
Yeah.
thighs.
Yeah.
It's like a combination of
Yeah.
like Hulk and what's the other English guy that plays like in 2 or 3 divisions below.
Oh, I
but
can
he's like,
Fenwa, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
the
yes, yes,
bodybuilder.
yep.
Oh my
Fucking
god, that kind of
Fenwa.
reminds me of them too.
So that was definitely it was a pleasant surprise, at least as a United fan, to see City go down to Wolves. But as far as the overall bigger picture, it was definitely bad news because it just gave Liverpool another
A
3
bigger-
points ahead
Yeah.
on the two teams that were directly competing for the match. And we just had a weekend pass, and we're gonna go over 2 matches from that one. Liverpool beating Wolves 1-0. The conversation is still on Liverpool because even though they're having this congested schedule, they're still putting up results.
Yes, with a little bit
With
of
the
help.
help.
With a
of
little
VAR.
bit of help, we have to say. So
Well,
What do
know
you
how-
think about
you know How
that?
it goes. You know how it goes. If you can't beat them, join them. At the beginning of the season, VAR was trying to beat us, taking goals away, all this other bullshit. They couldn't beat us, so now they joined us. Fuck it.
So now you pay them.
No, they just chose. They just came to the winning squad.
Oh
they're
my
just
God.
blind now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
right.
cover their eyes.
Nah, but for real, on the real though, like the VAR was used correctly. It really was.
What?
Per the rules of the game, it's been used correctly.
listen,
Benefit
I've
you.
I've had
No, but let's
enough
be
of these
honest.
armpit offside.
Me
No,
too.
That's,
Me
that's,
too.
that's
But
the
it
one
happened
that
against
pisses me off.
Firmino. It happened against Mane. It happened against jeez,
What are you trying to say?
nobody
Pookie?
else really. That's just us. Yeah, it just helped us.
Yeah.
No, the other team, the 4th place team right now, Lundstrom. What team does he play for?
Oh, for Sheffield, yeah.
Sheffield United. Yeah, it's happened against them. It's happened against Tottenham. I mean, everybody's been prone to this toe offside. But at least one thing that I said at the beginning of the season was as long as they're consistent with it. They're calling it consistently. They can't all of a sudden change the rule now and all goals moving forward aren't going to be, shoulder offsides. No, that's going to change after the season's over. Let it be. But I mean, if people at the beginning of the season lost points to it, why all of a sudden you're going to give those points away? Now, it's just got to be consistent. That's all.
Damn it. Hate it when you have good points.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, man.
What do you think
to me,
about
if
armpit
it's- if
offsides,
it's-
Marco?
I fucking hate it. I'm okay with VAR. I'm okay with everybody else using it except for the way that EPL is using it. They don't allow
Trash.
the referee to go watch go see what happened. They tell him what is going on. It's not his opinion. It's the people behind the monitors that's giving their opinion and going with whatever that person's saying.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
hate
bullshit.
the fact that they have to bring the fucking line. I've said it multiple times. If it's not clear and obvious, don't fucking call it.
Yeah.
If you have to come down to fucking measuring it with a little stick, then don't do it. If it's not clear and obvious, don't call it. It's not an offside.
Mm.
It would have
I
been a
completely
goal
agree.
a couple years ago.
Absolutely.
Why call it now? It pisses me off a lot.
So the other controversial moment, now that I'm going through the match commentary, there was the build up to Sadio Mane's goal. You had the video and the stills
I
on
want to
Van
challenge
Dijk's
you on that one, but go ahead. Tell the
on
viewers.
Van Dijk's arm. So Van Dijk receives the ball. The ball goes up. It hits his arm, comes back down again. He controls it, passes it off right to
Fake
Lallana,
news.
who gives it to Mane, and he scores. So it's part of the build up to the play. However, the footage that was reviewed, the official report that came post match was the VAR officials deemed that image to be inconclusive. They deemed the footage to be inconclusive as to whether it actually was a handball infringement by Van Dijk or not. So that goal stood, and then right after you had the offside from Neto, which prevented Wolves from equalizing 1-1 and eventually finished as
which
a 1-0.
was his arm, his hand was offside, not his anything else.
No,
which
not
pissed everybody
Neto's.
else. Yes, it was.
No, not the hand.
The
was
line
offsides. He was
here.
offsides.
Wherever they measured was off his line.
Yeah,
was off his arm.
the image, at least the arm is just seen to be crossing that plane where they drew the line, but that was at least your official report. That was deemed an offside. The other one was deemed inconclusive for a handball. It finished 1-0. Is this what it means to be consistent? To just let plays like this go on?
No, because you're comparing apples and oranges again. Like, you don't get it. Go back to kindergarten and learn your vegetables and your fruits. All right, they're
I was about to
different.
say they're fruits, bro, not vegetables, bro.
No, I'm just saying you're throwing fruits and you're vegetables because you might mix those up too. All right,
I don't
just
know.
because it's got
I
bright
think
little
somebody else
color
needs to go to
doesn't mean
kindergarten.
exactly. My
Go
point
eat a
is,
neck
my
plant.
point is that the offside call that favored Liverpool was offside. So when you're talking about is it's deemed a possible handball. I saw the footage afterwards. You sent me the one image. Yeah, in that one image, it looks like it, but we're not watching an image. We're watching live video. I watched a live video from the opposite angle, and you really can't tell if it hits the arm or not. You cannot 100% tell me that you know it hit his arm.
If he has
You
his-
can
if-
90%
if he
assume.
has
But you
his
can't-
arm
You can,
out-
but you
but
can
you can't-
90%
if he has his
assume.
arm out and the ball comes down,
You
it hits
cannot
something.
exactly.
You can't. But
It
you
hits
can't.
something.
It hit something, but it could have hit the top of his shoulder, which is what they think it is.
No,
they cannot be
no
100%
way.
sure. But
They weren't
with the
100% sure
technology-
of the offside either.
No, they are though.
No.
They are. They are.
Get out.
No,
Well, it
they
comes
really
down
are.
to fucking pixels. Pixels
Yeah.
get blurred between like
You're
when they're
absolutely right.
no,
But
so
the
it's not
software they
100%.
have is spitting out that it is offsides. The software. Now, I'll give it to you. The
Who made
software
the
could be
software?
wrong.
Liverpool.
We purchased it about 3 weeks into the season.
Yeah.
The point is that the software is telling them, okay, he's offsides, he's onside,
All right.
and they're basing everything off of that.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to Van Dijk's possible handball, it's going off of visions and going off of frames per second, right? So the 2 frames they have to deem whether it's a handball or not are inconclusive. They can't therefore turn it over. It's not clear and obvious. Where when the software is saying it's offsides, okay, we're going by what the software says. That's it. It's clear and obvious because that's what the software says. Again, apples and oranges. You got to compare the same.
I mean, there is no software being used because at the end, it's the VAR official that's making the decision based on the footage that he's looking at.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
they
where
do
he
use,
drops the points.
that's part of his team where the points are dropped as far as the lines that you're talking about. But the last person who has the last say on what he's looking at, whether that's offside or not, is the VAR official. Is the VAR official or not
But the
looking
VAR
at?
official is getting his input from the software. The software is telling him which line is further back. And then he'll just go off of where he put the points. That's it.
I mean, either way, it just is
It's
for the
terrible.
neto
Terrible.
offside. I don't think that was. I
I-
don't see where the armpit ones. Okay, as much as I disagree with it, fine. If you want to say that the armpit is on an equal plane with the shoulder and you can score off the shoulder, I get that. But as far as like the image that was used to review the play with Neto being offside and giving the ball over to Ruben Neves to score, nothing else was beyond that line that the software put, other than his arm, and the arm isn't a playable surface, isn't a playable limb.
I don't think you
to
saw that
score a
image
goal.
right there, man, because that's not the
No,
image I
because,
saw.
no, it's legit. That's
Yes,
the one
it
that's
is.
They're
used.
not doing it off the hand.
They're,
No,
they're
no,
doing it
no.
off
What?
the hand.
I.
If they believe that the hand is in line with the shoulder,
But
then
the thing is, the hand
No, no,
like
no.
this.
What I think.
they're not doing it
what-
off the hand. Dude.
what I-
Come on.
No, what I saw was like that, and that's why I said it came down to pixels because on the floor, both of the feet, at first glance, they seem like they're aligned, but Neto's foot, when they zoomed in into the pit, when it
They
literally
zoomed in like
literally
200 times. It was
literally the
ridiculous.
images was pixely,
Yeah.
and some pixels were darker from the green grass,
Yes,
and that's
absolutely.
what
You're
they
looking at the feet, right?
at the feet.
Yeah.
That's a
But
problem.
it's
That's
just
once-
like
No,
once you
I
go
think
there-
you guys are facing off the wrong ones. If
once
you're
you-
chasing off the hand, you're
once-
wrong.
once
I
you-
think the outside was called off the feet.
regardless, once you go to that point, don't call it.
Yes, but that's how it's been called all season long for a bunch of different teams, not
So
just Liverpool.
stupid, man.
That's remember the that's why I was trying to remember the Lundstrom team. Why? Because that's the one where he was off by a toe about 30 seconds before the goal was scored, but it got brought to that offside. It's wrong. It's terrible. It just happened to benefit Liverpool this time.
He was offside by un poquito.
There you go. I mean,
Regardless,
it
man.
happened to Pookie too this weekend. It's not.
It did. And,
There was
and
multiple
it's
cases
such
of it
a
over the
good
weekend.
goal for Pookie too, man. It happened multiple times.
Yeah,
And you're not the first one. You're not
Zaha.
gonna be the last
it
one.
happened to Zaha
There
in the
was-
Crystal
there
Palace
was
game.
4 decisions. That,
Exactly.
And I'm looking it up right now. There was Dan Burn on Brighton, offside
Yep.
by tight margins. Zaha for Palace, tight margins. Pookie with a beautiful chest control,
Amazing.
putting it into back of the net, tight margins. And really, the one person that summed it up, they have a tweet here, Gary Lineker, saying, "Thoughts are with football at this difficult time." A lot of people feel the same way as far as what VAR is doing to, I guess, the quality of the calls, not football, but of the calls and the way they're being done. And I really hope that it's just something that we have to get used to.
I don't think we have to get used to it. I think they have to fix it.
But
Well-
that's the thing. It's not that it has to be fixed. It's that finally now we have the technology to see it more clearly. Where before it was like we got to give the advantage to the attacking player. Now it's like, oh crap, the attacking player has an undue advantage.
But that's the problem.
So we have to change the rule. But you can't change it halfway through the season.
No. I get
Yeah.
it, but
I just-
we have other leagues that are implemented the same system. Essentially, I'm not 100% sure about that, but they're not having these issues that EPL is.
Oh, they are. They are. I've seen it in Serie A
Mm.
games. I've seen the complaints, but the Premier League blows it up because everybody puts it on Twitter. It's viewed so much more than any other league that it's really turned into a big issue online.
Yeah.
That's why. And then the fact that the ref can't go see the cameras himself. Where
I think
every
that's what
other league-
everybody's pissed off about
Exactly.
is that they don't go see the footage
Yeah,
themselves.
they don't review it either.
All right.
Oh, that was really. We naturally just we got pulled right into the VAR controversy again because
Of
it just
course, every time.
VAR just doesn't want to get out of the spotlight for some reason this season. One thing I will admit is that they can't change suddenly. Like, okay, we're gonna stop calling these armpit offsides, because then what that does is that it sets precedence for all the other teams that got shafted by it. That okay, too bad sucks for you guys.
Pookie's goal would have counted then. Right?
Exactly that, and that's
Halfway
exactly
through the
that's
season?
the mindset that they have to avoid
Yeah.
right now. They have to do that kind of damage control and be like, all right, we're gonna have to bite the bullet and just keep doing it this way,
Yeah.
and wait until maybe the next season that's upcoming to fine tune a lot of these things. A lot of people are saying that maybe rule changes are being called for. Maybe the implementation of new types of technology. It was really funny, and I think I screenshotted it. I'm gonna take a look to make sure that I have it. It was on a forum that I wish Eric was here. I'll give you guys the phone after. So there's this discussion group on Facebook for Premier League, right? And there's a lot of people in there. I've followed it for like many years now. So there's this guy who just made a post yesterday. I want to see what you guys think. He goes, "My opinion. We should adopt a challenge system for VAR. Each side gets one challenge per half. Coaches can challenge goals,
Hombre.
penalties, or other infractions. If you're wrong, you lose your challenge, very much like the NFL in America. Keeps VAR out of the game, but allows it to correct critical decisions. What do you guys think?"
Please tell me he got fucking ridiculed on that chat. Jesus Christ.
You have two comments there. What did it say?
So one of them was saying, use VAR properly. The rest of Europe uses it well. Why does the English Premier League suck so much at it? And then there was a comment to that saying that it will surely take some time to implement this new technology still. It's crazy how people already have this mindset of going the NFL route.
I'm telling you, it's all Spurs' fault. It's Tottenham's fault.
Yeah.
They're bringing football to England, and now all of a sudden they want to start using the rules too. A la verga, man.
That'd be the worst mistake in football history to bring football into football.
Yeah, to bring football into football.
Yeah, let's get past this VAR shit.
For real.
Yeah, there's a lot of Liverpool comments on there. What if a coach has no challenges remaining? They went really deep into this. Yes, one person says, and every goal should be reviewed, much like they do in the NFL with touchdowns.
But every goal is reviewed now.
Yeah,
Pretty
I guess
much.
so.
You have to check to see if there's nothing behind or if it was offside or the play to the play.
See, this is why Liverpool fans don't like VAR, because the conversation goes to VAR and it gets away from Liverpool. All right, we want to talk about Liverpool and how we're so
my
close to
God.
winning.
It's the same subject almost.
Oh.
Moving forward, thankfully, hopefully, we have some new matches like we had mentioned a little bit ago. This concludes our little flashback segment. So the matches.
Little, that shit was long as fuck.
It
Oh,
was.
well, coming into we had
That's
to.
what she said.
There was a lot of stuff that we had to go over. The 21st match day, which will be New Year's Day on Wednesday. Really, the highlight match here. We have Arsenal at home to Manchester United.
Can before we get into that, can we just give a little clap to the EPL
For
giving us the way we want to start off the new year, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
With EPL football.
Yes, absolutely. EPL, thank you for not taking a break, putting in the shift, putting in the minutes.
For working all those players into the ground. Well
Yeah.
done.
Not giving them vacation time.
No
time,
break
or,
time.
Or time with their families.
Oh, God.
They can't travel.
Jeez.
That's fucked up.
So Arsenal United. We also have Liverpool hosting Sheffield, which right now currently they're the biggest surprise. They're like the Swansea of back then, I guess. You know, they're just doing very well. They're very sound, very collected team. City against Everton. Everton have posted some pretty good results over the last 3 weeks, ever since Ancelotti came in.
That's what I was gonna say. Out of the two right now between Everton, which got the new coach, was Ancelotti, and Arteta with Arsenal, I feel like Ancelotti has been able to pick up what he got, and start riding with it, and you can start seeing the small changes already within that team.
Honestly, though, you guys are sleeping on David Moyes, so just watch out. He's got to play his first game in
That's
a
right.
couple days. David Moyes is gonna blow it up.
David Moyes and the band are back at West Ham. They're hosting Bournemouth. This is his second appointment at West Ham, actually. His second stint at the club. Really, it just comes off as like in case of emergency, someone broke the glass and just hit the direct line.
I didn't realize Sam
Allardyce?
Allardyce had gone diet and turned into David Moyes.
I guess so. I think, did we speak about Allardyce? I just think Allardyce he's just stained after that whole sting operation. I don't think he's gonna come back, man.
He went to Everton. He was there for like as caretaker while they waited for Marco Silva. But regardless, what else you got?
That was a while ago though. The other game that we have for that week, really, well, we have the Liverpool and Sheffield, City, Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth, Chelsea. I'm gonna dig in a little right now. Chelsea have been very up and down as far as their results, but they've kept the top four place so far intact. When Arsenal were leading 1-0, there was something that I had read that Arsenal had never lost after leading at halftime at
Really?
home in 9 years.
What?
Mm-hmm.
And then Chelsea
no.
Chelsea turning it around in the last 10 minutes. I'm not going to put on Arsenal right now, but it just seems like Lampard is trying his damn hardest to find ways to make this team work. At the expense of Pulisic, at the expense of Mount. He's done some experiments with Kovacic in the middle, with Willian on the wing. He's just like, it's kind of interesting to see Lampard's just throwing everything he can at this team.
But he's not throwing it in. It's not like a crazy chef who's just
No, exactly. And that's the point that I'm making, is that it may seem haphazard, but there's definitely a formula to this. He's definitely thinking this out.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Lampard has it in him to keep Chelsea in this top 4 spot? Because we've seen them at their worst, especially with that loss to Bournemouth at home, and we've also seen them at their best. Not including the game against Chelsea, where they were pretty much dusted.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty much dusted, and they found a way to get back into the game. I forget, it was like a tactical sub that he made.
Jorginho went in.
Yeah, Jorginho, and he
brought
just like
Jorginho.
changed it for them.
Yeah.
That was something
Emerson.
that I saw.
Emerson.
Yeah, he took out Emerson.
He
put
started with
Jorginho in.
3 in the back and went back to 4.
Look, if they hadn't gotten lucky with that one goal, I don't think they would have turned it around. I
Yeah.
think they would have been fine.
Yeah,
I think
the whole thing was the Jorginho not getting the second yellow to become a red.
Yes,
and on
that was
top of
another
that,
was the issue.
Leno has stock in AFTV, so he had to give some drama.
Well, no, because actually AFTV was actually very nice this week to everybody, and they didn't want to give Leno shit
I mean,
because Leno has saved us multiple times throughout the
Absolutely.
season.
he has.
So having a one big error, yes, it didn't cost us the game, but gave them the tie. It's all right. It's like it is what it is. Jorginho shouldn't even be on the field at that point.
Absolutely, but neither should have Gunduzi.
On where?
Penalty kick. He caused a foul inside the box.
No, you see, it wasn't inside. It was outside. They did go. They checked it, and it was outside.
But then was it a yellow? Or
Yeah,
was it
they
straight
did
red?
give him a yellow.
Would have been a straight red if it was outside the box and it's going on goal.
It was outside the box. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Man, es que es.
No, because look,
chille, no mames.
No. One is an obvious yellow, but like I said, ended up getting the yellow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the other one is he did get penalized. It was marked, and he did get a yellow for it, but it was outside the box.
All right.
So it's two different incidents. You're
No, but
comparing
regardless-
Yeah,
apple
you're
to
to
pears over
oranges.
here.
Apples and pears.
Apples to broccoli now.
Apples
No,
and pears.
yo.
You know, pears and apples are in the same family, bro.
So are Chelsea and Arsenal in the same city.
So as far as London clubs we have right now, there was this stat that came up. Arsenal losing 4 consecutive home games for the first time in 60 years. This is dating back to their loss to Frankfurt in the Europa League, which means, unfortunately, they have right now 1 win, which was 3-1 against West Ham in their last 7 matches in the Premier League. And then 1 win in their last 13, and that was when Emery was still here. So yes, Ljungberg was caretaker, but we have the clear example with Ancelotti. He's recorded results. We have Watford that have Nigel Pearson. They beat United, and they also won their last match as well. Troy Deeney coming back into the goals. Is this something where I heard something today, which I want to bring up really quickly, but is this problem a lot deeper than just a manager change? Like, what can Arsenal do?
Well, you also have to remember we are full of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
You have Saka, which is a left wing playing as a left back.
Mm-hmm.
You have Niles, that is also a midfielder, and as he
Playing
would
as
like
right
to
back.
play a right wing, but playing as a right back.
Mm-hmm.
You got a in-game injury, which is Chambers, bringing in Mustafi, which we all know he's a terrible defender. And then we have Torreira's gonna Tierney's gonna be out until March, I think. Bellerin is out. Holding is out.
You just got all those players back.
Kolasinac is
No,
Kolasinac is out.
And he's not even mentioning the worst one. They got David Luiz in the back.
we have David Luiz in the bag. Not that. As much, actually, David Luiz was apparently man of the match of this game. But no, this one was actually the second goal was Mustafi error.
Yeah.
He didn't follow
Mhm.
Abraham. He decided to run back, and he gave him the space, and that's what caused the second goal. But yes, I understand that all these other coaches are doing a lot better than we are, but we are also hit with a lot of injuries. Let's see what they do with right now with the transfer window that opens on Wednesday. Let's see if they decide to pick up some players, and let's see what Atletico will do with it. Arteta, sorry.
You think Arteta is going to last in this spot? Edgar, Ricky.
Not very long, to be honest.
Let's say for all intents and purposes, this next game, he still goes without a win because right now Arteta has
A tie and a
a
loss.
tie and a
Kinda
loss.
Yeah.
So if he pairs it up with another loss,
No, I don't think that soon they'll get rid of him. But yeah, so like a few more games, I think. If they don't have any results, then yeah, they'll start looking because I feel management and the team they need wins, obviously like any other team. So if you have someone new in it, you haven't really gotten one win, like that's alarming. Or they have to dig deeper to see what the fuck's going on with the players, or I don't know.
Dude, man, like I can't make heads or tails out of the team right now. Like Arteta seems like a good appointment if he had a good squad. Like if Arteta were taking over Everton, I'd feel better. Why? Because at least Everton has a lot of good players, has a solid CDM, has solid center backs who just need guidance. Mustafi is a professional. Long time, over a decade now. David Luiz,
World Cup winner.
World Cup winner. Like these are the guys who are your backbone, and they're making silly mistakes like this. I don't see it. I don't know how Arteta's gonna fix it, and I don't think he's gonna be able to fix it within a year. Like even if they give him 1 year, that means he gets fired at the same time this time next year, which is a horrible time to, put in a new coach. 18 months. If he doesn't fix it by the end of next season, if it doesn't look any better, then that's it.
that's it.
He's gone. But that's enough time to give him a position to say, hey, we tried.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, man. Good luck. I mean, honestly, I had no hard feelings for Arsenal, but it sucks because I remember that you guys were a great stepping stone to get to Barcelona. That means a lot, though. That does, because that means you guys made quality players. Ever since that stopped and Arsenal started going down, it's just been a roller coaster really far down. I didn't realize it was going to go this low.
It's definitely been a tough year, at least this one.
Yeah.
How low can you go?
How low can you go?
There's one thing. Speaking of low, they're talking about really quickly having, I guess, like a low output, and a lot of people were trying to single out Ozil for his performance, and the fact that at least one person I had overheard on this is it's not a direct quote, I'm paraphrasing here off of Talksport, that there was someone that called in saying that Ozil is just naturally a lazy player and that he doesn't track back, he doesn't like to run back, he doesn't put in that shift. And when you have a manager in Arteta, because he's the manager now, who's taken a lot from Guardiola, who would never accept that in his teams, He would never let anyone on his starting 11 that wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, coach, I'm gonna run back to get possession." As soon as you lose the ball, it's very hard to press and get the ball back. If your main creator, if your senior player is like, "All right, you guys can handle it. I'm not gonna track back for that ball." This is just just for conversation's sake. I don't have an anti-Ozil agenda or whatever.
No, it's great.
But
Correct.
is the fact that he's still on this team after 5 years, is that going to be more of a detriment to the squad?
This is what it is. It's if he doesn't change his way of play in the sense that in this past game you can see it. Obama was back there as a left back.
Obama again, yeah,
taking care
again.
of business and fucking getting the ball and moving it up. Nelson was doing the same thing on the right side. Lacazette was dropping down as well. Ozil, believe it or not, he was also in the defensive side doing his job. Didn't do much, but he was at least there.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't continue playing that way or start actually playing the way that Arteta wants him to play,
He's still a crutch.
he's out.
He's still a crutch.
Look, at the end of
Because he's
the
never
day,
going to be that
that's-
defender you need.
No,
in
he's
that position.
he will never be it, and he's not.
Even
that
if he
type of
tries,
player.
he'll never be able
That's
to
the thing.
develop
He
it.
at least has to try. You only need him to do it for the next 6 months
There you go.
until the end of the
That's
season.
it,
Look,
that's
it's
it.
as sad as it sounds. Look, we have a player that can not technically do his job, but will do a decent job as a cam. Don't put him anywhere else but as a cam, which is Ceballos. When Ceballos gets back from injury, and he's a player that will play box to box. He will run all the way down, grab the ball, and run it back up. Until then, Ozil it is.
Look, Ozil's a very fancy tool. Like, all right, think about a carpenter, right? He's gonna buy one tool that costs like 30 times more than every other tool, and he can only use it once in a while. But that one time that he needs to use it, it's worth its price in gold every time, because that means he can complete his jobs real quick. He can do a very finishing job, very nice, right? But it's a tool he doesn't use every day. That's what Ozil is. He's that one tool that you only use for specific situations where it fits the need. Otherwise, don't put him in, because otherwise he's just going to be a burden. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to.
I would agree with that. I think especially the fact that he's a senior player now, and you have so many young players on the squad that are on the pitch. The thing that I'm thinking about is, like, if I'm a young dude on that and I'm like watching this dude who's not even tracking back, like, why am I going to do that? Like, I'm not going to break my back if this guy's not going to sweat for the badge, sweat for the team. And I feel like at the end of the day, that part of his game is what's going to hurt Arsenal the most.
But you also realize that at least this past game with Chelsea, I'm not talking about any other, but this one.
Mm-hmm.
Once Ozil came out, that's when the 2 goals came in.
Yeah.
It's because they no longer have to worry about Ozil being in the field. As much as he doesn't track back, he is
Yeah,
still
you're right.
a part of the
You're
team.
right.
Sure.
And people still
It's
have
like
to
pulling
worry
Kevin De
about him.
Bruyne off when Man City was winning 2-0.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
You don't have to
They
worry
lost
about it in one
3-2.
player.
that's 2 examples right there where the winning teams ended up losing because he took out their key play builder.
As much
There you go.
well, we can't compare one with the other one because De Bruyne, he's phenomenal. But in this
But
case,
he was still the out ball.
yeah,
You get the
he's
ball to
the
him,
one,
he
yeah.
gets it into a striker. So,
Yeah,
well,
and that's-
Marco, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
And when I don't, I don't.
You can't compare apples to
I
oranges.
can't
Right,
compare
right.
apples
But
to
you can't
apples.
compare apples and pears.
Yeah.
Those you could.
That's really it for our recap, our flashback, our preview to the New Year's Day matches. Is there anything else, you guys, that you heard over this time? You mentioned Hulk. There was one thing I wanted to bring up, and this is that player drama. After you mentioned Hulk, Marco, if you guys read about the fact that he divorced his wife,
Oh yeah.
Ooh, chisme.
he divorced. He
Gossip.
he split from his wife because he is now dating her niece.
Oh,
I did hear that.
guys.
And it got to the point where the niece contacted her aunt on
Uh-huh.
Instagram and wrote her a message, which has now been leaked because people
Obviously.
are crazy, where she was saying that she's really sorry, that she didn't have any control over this, but like the heart wants what it wants, blah 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 blah, and like
Okay.
you just have to let things happen naturally, and they didn't intend for things to be to get in the way of their relationship, but that they were gonna move forward. So Hulk essentially
Oh.
split from his wife so that he can date her younger niece. And that also ties into the fact that the Chinese Super League has now finished their experiment of their big money players, because as of last weekend technically, they introduced a wage cap for all players. So the wage cap is at 49K.
No, hombre.
That's it.
That is it.
That's it.
49,000.
49,000. That's it.
Nobody can go into the Chinese league making more than 49,000.
Absolutely. So that means all
That
the
means
players
all-
that are there now, Hulk being one, Oscar being another. I forgot who else. Fellaini's there too.
Isn't Carrasco there?
El
Carrasco's there as
venezolano
well.
Rondon.
Rondon is there as well. They all got a dip because actually I think Rondon was on the lower end of that because they had a list that I saw, and I think he was being paid like over 118K or something like that.
What about Benitez?
Damn, but
Does
that's
that apply to
crazy
refs?
low.
To coaches?
I don't know. It's definitely to players. So like they're saying that a lot of people have their eyes on the Chinese league, the Chinese Super League, because this is like kind of like when the housing bubble happened in 2008. Like something's gonna happen, and something's gonna happen really bad. Like there's gonna be blowout because these players are gonna suddenly realize that they're probably owed wages for weeks or maybe even months, and because of this wage cap, they're not even gonna be able to pay that money out. So there might be a lot more drama to come when it comes to satisfying.
players
So
are
wait.
coming back.
So the point of telling this whole story was the niece may leave Hulk because she's not making enough money off of him now,
Oh my God.
and he's gonna move back with his wife, but she's not gonna want him.
But it all started because the wife didn't spend enough time on her niece,
Oh my God.
so he went to the niece.
I like it. You're right.
Get it?
No, but aside from your 30 minds, that means that a lot of these players, like Oscar, which is still a phenomenal player, and yes, he sold out going to China, but he can come back and to EPL especially and do good. Also, Carrasco's still phenomenal left wing.
I'm excited to see these players back, man. It's gonna be interesting.
There's a lot of
And-
players.
And you don't have to pay them that much anymore.
No, you just have to cover.
Pay more than 49,000.
Be like,
get them
"Ah,
back.
look,
Yeah,
you want a
so
49?
the wage
You want
cap-
49, or do you want to take a
Are
little
you
pay
sure it's
cut, but not
49,000?
as much?
You know what? They can put Arsenal. We'll give you
Wait.
49,001 pound.
49,000 what? Like a week?
Yes, 49,000. So
Okay.
Chinese Super
I'm
League
like-
introduces 49,000 pound per week wage cap for any foreign players.
Okay.
Bro, Ozil makes 300,000 a week.
So
yes.
Hulk, Oscar, Paulinho, Arnautovic.
Paulinho came and went back. That's right.
Let's see. Graziano Pele. If you
Yo,
remember
Chinese
him.
Super League. I heard you need players. I'm available. And I'll
take
do
the
it. I'll do
49.
it for 25,000 a week. You heard?
Oh man, that's all I got. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
Nah, that was a good one though.
Come on. It has to be a little bit more. This is the last one of 2019.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh
This is the
shit,
last one
yeah,
of the
man.
decade.
Well, guys, it's been fun. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the good, kind words you gave me today, Diego. I hope I can bring those words into the new year.
Absolutely
We'll
not.
talk about it on Thursday after the
If-
Liverpool game.
if your
And,
team-
thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining
Thank the fans,
the Smug with the Benchies.
the followers.
If your team has won the Premier League in the last decade, raise your hand.
Champions
wait.
League. Champions League.
In the last 2 decades, raise your hand.
Which
Champions League?
Oh yeah.
In the last 2 decades, raise your hand.
I'm
Champions-
gonna let both because it's on both ends. My Real Madrid and Arsenal side. I have one of both. Who won
Barcelona.
The champion.
Barcelona.
Oh my,
Yo, I was actually
outta
before we watched him. I was
Has any of your teams won 2 trebles?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Come on.
3 Champions League in a row.
That's 1 treble.
That's one trouble. That's fine.
Mas burro.
Better than the 2 that you have.
I guess the highlight, man, this decade, it's crazy to
History
think.
making. That's what it is.
It's crazy to think that so much has changed, specifically in the Premier League, since 2010, 2011. So many players that are just completely gone. There was those are the years that Bale was doing ridiculousness with Spurs. Rooney was still in the league. Liverpool were still shit. Like it was great times, man. And now this is definitely like this.
Now
Going
you're
into
wearing-
2020,
now-
it's the
now-
new decade upside down. Like
Now you're wearing a retro shirt and dreaming of the old days.
no. This is 1999.
Exactly.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I don't know what else to say for this decade, man. It's been great. There's been a lot of ups and downs. We've had Leicester winning the league. We had a lot of drama with players as well. You had Ibra coming and going. I think
How many-
Ibrahimovic.
The ultimate journeyman.
How many teams in the past decade has he been in?
Has Ibra been in?
10.
That's interesting. To
That's
know.
a great question.
One per
Let us
year?
know in the next episode.
at least 4.
we don't have a decade of doing this, but we have a year, and hopefully in the next couple days, you guys will be seeing a compilation of what happened this past year.
Yeah.
So
We're putting that together for you guys.
check
Mark
it out on
Williams, Marcos
YouTube.
putting
Let us
that
know what you
together.
think, and if you want to be part of it, just hit us up.
And we
do more
definitely
things.
thank you for listening and watching.
Yeah,
and
so
following
applause out
and
to you guys,
so-
to all of our followers, anyone listening that's made it this far. Thank you very much for sticking around, especially for this year. We wish everyone a very happy new year once you do get to take a listen. We hope you guys get into 2020 with lots of new blessings, lots of great things, fantastic things that are happening for you. And hopefully there's going to be a lot more football to come around. So
maybe even a little bit more of MLS this upcoming season.
that's true.
year.
We
a little
have
more
players
MLS.
reporting.
Yeah.
We have players reporting in for camp in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And Inter Miami just actually named their coach.
Their head coach.
They were kind of, there was a lot of fires going on that club because they don't have a full roster. They didn't have a head coach
They
as
have
of a
2
week
players
ago.
at least.
As of a week ago, so that's going to be a very interesting
You
project.
guys got my video, so whenever you want, I'll be ready to be fielded for Inter Miami. Let me know. The smug is waiting.
Oh man, I guess that's it. We're signing
pretty
off,
it.
right,
Yep.
guys?
Signing off.
This is it, Marco. Where
Stay
can
tuned.
where can they listen to us?
They can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher by searching Benchwarmers FC.
Make sure you hit us up in the new decade on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by searching Benchwarmers FC Un.
And you can watch us on YouTube at Benchwarmers FC TV.
You can also write to us, Ricky.
You can write to us at benchwarmersfc.com. Hit us up with your goals and shit, we'll give you good luck because we can't help you.
Oh my god. Make sure you also give Les Smug a follow on Instagram with the handle at Les Smug if you have nothing else to do and
I'll
you
tell you
actually
this
support
afterwards.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
And like we always like to remind you, whenever you get to any of our social media channels, be it Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, make sure you leave a like, comment, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I want to hear from all of you guys. A very heartfelt thank you. Best wishes for this new year, for this new decade. We hope it comes with great things. We are the Bench Warmers. This is the Bench with a Voice, where the bench is always warm.
We'll catch you in 2020.
Peace, guys.
20.